New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. And hello again, dear ones. Reverend Robert with you here on a Friday evening. It's 5 o'clock on the Mountain Time Zone, and that means it is time for the good news. Our weekly look at the good news stories that have found a way across my desk or that I went searching for, and that we think will support you in creating a great weekend for yourself as well. Hoo-ha, Brother Wayne, good to see you, Space Cowboy. Glad you're with us here this evening. Folks, do feel free to comment along. Let us know you're with us. We're more than happy to have you join in the conversation. Okay, first story up tonight. Meditation could protect older people against Alzheimer's. New research is indicating that there's a strong point to be made for using meditation as a preventative medicine for dementia, Alzheimer's, and other brain-related diseases later in life. Now, this is an interesting study. It's a little bit different than some of the other stories we've reported on here. This is interesting in that it's a group of 18 French participants, it's a group of French participants. It was an 18-month study. And the difference is the control group was given something to do to increase their mind capacity and to maintain their learning and keep their brain functions busy. They were asked to learn English. So they took English lessons, and then the other group did meditation, did equal amounts of time. And guess what? Well, the meditators did better overall than just learning a new language. Now, that doesn't say that learning a new language isn't good for you. It's just to say that meditation is showing once again the opportunity that it presents to be able to extend our lives, to mentally train ourselves to have better life and better minds as we age and as we go. Good news stories for those that are aging. Is there anybody out there that isn't aging? I'm not sure. And other good news around aging here in the United States, one of the big stories this week is we no longer need a prescription to get a hearing aid. Her hearing aids are now available over the counter, retail stores such as Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, other places. This is because of a new rule by the Food and Drug Administration went into effect this past week. Now, remember, not all products are made equal, and you might find some things that seem like a great deal and aren't. However, it's kind of about time, right? Why were hearing aids ever really illegal anyway? That's a great question. So congratulations to us, I guess. So many people have damaged their hearing in one way or another. And in the New Thought philosophy, we believe in the pill and the prayer, which means we believe in affirming the truth of what we know as the perfection of our lives. And we're also willing to embrace and use scientific advances that allow us to do so. Eyeglasses are another one of those. I think it's a good news story. Hey, folks, we do get most of our stories over at the goodnewsnetwork.org. Be sure to drop on over there. Give those folks the love and attention they so richly deserve. Give them a like. They do a lot of great work to curate most of these stories, and then I share them with you. Thank you to our great producer, Diego, reminding me that, yes, the links are available in the show description to many of today's stories, and you can learn much, much more as you follow along. This next story comes to us from the Good News Network, and this is a story we've been following over the last few years now. Flying taxis had a big day over in Dubai recently. Now, these are called eVTOL, or electric vertical takeoff and landing, eVTOL, electric vertical takeoff and landing. The main company that we're looking at here and who did this big test, Xpeng Motors, X2, it is the X2 flying taxi. Now, they say that these machines are going to be able to cruise at about 1,000 meters in elevation at roughly 81 miles an hour. And you could do about a 35-minute flight on the battery. To get you across town. Now, I do want to question how long does it take to recharge the battery on this thing? However, Dubai is a renowned city of innovation, and that's one of the reasons why the folks that created this device chose to test it there. The flying car is real, folks. Here it comes. I'm George Jetson. Let's, are you ready for a flying vehicle in your life? It might be a little ways away for most of us. However, they're here. Here's another great new idea that I love. We talk a lot about renewable energies here on this program, and we talk a lot about how we're going to be able to be sustainable in the coming decades. Well, here's one that has taken a whole new idea on the wind turbine. No longer just a big statue in the cornfields. These are boxes that you can put on top of your building. They're 10 foot, about 10 foot tall, and each box will provide more power than roughly 15 solar panels. So from the size scale, we definitely got an idea here on these boxes. They're generally designed for small scale commercial use. They are noise free, and the creators say they are incapable of killing birds. That's a good thing. They also pair well with solar panels because they sit on the edge of the roof rather than in the middle. If a building has the batteries to store the energy, they say it could create a self-sustaining building. This is all from Aeromine, is the company involved here. Their boxy turbines generate energy in 50% greater amounts than solar panels, and 16 times as much when the wind is flying hard. And they're catching on the fact that if you've got a flat building, the wind hits the building, goes straight up into these turbines. Good news, folks. Here we are. It's 2022, almost 2023, and we are seeing innovation at every turn. And that's a big part of what I encourage all of us to remember, is that we're here to embrace this innovation. We're here to make sure that we get a chance to share these ideas and be a part of what's coming next. And what coming next is a lot of fun stuff. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, and my good friend Diego's got it right. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe here on the New Thought Media Network. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back, though, with more good news stories in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Stay tuned to New Thought Media Network and the good news. And we're back with more of the good news here on the New Thought Media Network. Thanks for being with us on a Friday evening, folks. I'm Rev Robert. These are a collection of good news stories we believe you'll take out into the world, share with your friends and your family, and let them know more about what's happening in the world. Okay, even in the midst of interesting stories and the stories we don't like to share and talk about, there's also the good that comes out of those. We didn't talk a lot about Hurricane Ian that recently devastated Florida, but here's a good news story that emerged. 275 exotic parrots were saved from a sanctuary and are on their way to a new sanctuary. So here's the story. Will Paratinos, he pretty much thought that the Malama Manu Sanctuary on Pine Island was devastated, and it was. However, they were able to save the parrots that were housed there. It's called Project Dynamo, a volunteer rescue operation from Tampa. They put together a team of boats and a whole bunch of cat-sized pet carriers and went down to Pine Island and have been able to rescue these birds. Now, they could be away from their home 6 months to a year to rehabilitate these birds and rebuild the sanctuary they've come from. And so, yes, there is a GoFundMe campaign. They've raised about $35,000 out of about $200,000 that they're looking for. We'll make sure to leave links for that in the show notes as well if you'd like to contribute and be a part of that. This is a good news story because we just love to hear not only the innovation, but the continuation of life. And we focus on so many stories here that remind us not only are we all in this together, but life is prime and life is working out for everybody. If you'd like to share your good news stories with us or have a story you think we'd like to cover, please send us an email, goodnews@ntmedia.org. We'll take a look at it, and if it fits in with our themes those evenings, we'll work them in as well. All right, next up, how'd you like to get your lettuce straight from the farm, which happens to be the supermarket? Yeah. Now this is happening in Cairo. The supermarket has created a hydroponic refrigerator that grows different kinds of lettuce. And so they're constantly growing a hydroponic crop of lettuce. And now it doesn't say anywhere in the article what happens if they have a run on a certain flavor, a certain type of lettuce, or how long, what their overall stock is, how much they could handle in a day. But they're using, obviously it's hydroponic, so there's no soil involved. It's all happening through the water-based growing medium. And so we're reducing a carbon footprint. What do you think? Is this a good idea? Would America now this seems a little more niche than we would do here in the US. But could people embrace the idea of hydroponic vegetables and other produce being grown directly in the store? And and you just go and pick it out of the refrigerator. I'm not sure, but I love the idea. I want to follow this story, and we are going to follow this story. That's what we do here on the Good News. We just keep an eye on some interesting things and some interesting people. And our next story up here tonight is a very interesting person. We're going to introduce you to Jo Newby. She's 52, and that is a statue of her. It stands on the South Bank of in England and in London's iconic South Bank area, actually. She's been named England's unlikely hero. So the Kind Snacks Company put together the nationwide My Kind Hero search, and Joe's husband nominated her for the work that she has done with the foster parenting organizations and soccer as well. So she's all about fostering, and she's all about helping kids with youth soccer. What a great idea. Now, the statue itself, the picture's a little different, but the statue itself, when it's finished, is going to hold 92 balloons, and each symbolizing one of the children that she has fostered. Yes, Jo has fostered 92 children in her lifetime. Her husband, Chris, said that to him, Jo is the most amazing, kind, and selfless woman in the world. And when he saw the call out from the My Kind hero, he had to put her name forward. To have her recognized and identified as UK's kind hero makes him burst with pride. What a great story. There is a little video there as well that you're welcome to watch. We'll make sure we put the links in the show notes. And this story can be found over at the goodnewsnetwork.org. Thank you for flashing that up there, Diego. Go on over to their website. There's more stories there than we could possibly cover, and we want you to make sure you get a chance to take a look at those as well. Hey, folks, we have a lot more good news stories coming your way here on the New Thought Media Network, and the good news happens on Friday nights. But we want to also say thank you to the sponsors and organizations that make this network possible. It's everyone from those of you that can throw in a few bucks and are watching our programs, to the sponsors and the organizations that say, hey, we want to make sure this keeps going and keeps going and keeps going and keeps serving the evolution of New Thought. So help us out and say thank you to our donors and sponsors right now. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the New Thought Media Network. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, for your continued support. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown Atlanta, for your monthly contribution. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, for your monthly contribution. And please help us welcome OM Center for Spiritual Living in La Mesa, California. Thank you for your monthly donation. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, for your most generous donation. And a special thanks to Hefferlin Foundation for your generous technology grant. And Suze Ajit, thank you for your very generous donation. And a super special thank you to Dr. Tracy Brown, RSCP. Thanks for being a super donor. And a big shout out to all our committed donors.
Yes. Thank you to all of our organizational donors and sponsors, everyone, every person, everyone that's a part of this. And I want to do a special shout out to the Center for Spiritual Living Denver, right here in Denver, Colorado. They've chosen to pick up the good news and share our broadcast live on their channels as well. That's the kind of support that we love to see. Thank you, CSL Denver, for being a part of the New Thought Media Network family. Folks, if you'd like to become a part of what we're doing here, like, share, and subscribe, and be sure to head on over to the website, ntmedia.org. Click on donate, make a monthly donation. We'll add your name to the next version of our thank you video as well. All right, back to the good news here. A few more stories before we go. Now, many of you that watch the show know that we love to do human interest stories in our third segment, and today is no different. And boy, do I have a lineup for you tonight. You may remember Isaac Winfield. We've talked about Isaac before. Back in 2020, he started a food bank by donating first his own birthday money And well, that grew and grew, and now they run the food bank out of a shed on his his backyard. Now you can see that that's not a small shed that they've got there, and they have a Facebook page. It's called Friends of Isaac Food Bank Facebook page. We'll make sure to share a link of that with you. And here's what happened recently. So Isaac moved schools. Everybody's growing up. Everybody's getting a little older. I've got a kid that went from middle school to high school this past year. Well, Isaac moved schools, and his new school didn't have a program that really allowed for him to share from his food bank resources directly to the school and those who needed it in his class. So he decided to take it out onto the streets, and that's their van there that we're seeing a picture of, as well as there were pictures of Isaac in the back of the van. They're still doing it. They're out there. Isaac's planning to expand his service, and he's got other local charities working with him to open a food bank in other towns as well. What a great story. Thank you, Isaac, for doing what you're doing. For his 11th birthday, he just wanted food bank donations, and he got his shed. That's a pretty cool story. Thank you, Isaac, for doing what you're doing. The world's a better place because of you and because of what you're doing. Next up, we're going to keep ramping it up, folks. Let me introduce you to Gary Wilburn. Gary's being described as a highway angel. Now, I didn't know until today that that's an official designation and a real award. It's not just something you call somebody. Gary saved the life of a state trooper in Arkansas. He was stuck in heavy traffic, and he said he was in traffic for almost an hour before he saw the trooper's car crashed on the side of the road. Gary said, some of the stuff I noticed was insane. No one's calling the police. Cars are driving by, and no one stopped to help. Well, Gary stopped to help. The trooper was very badly injured. Both his lower legs were broken. His upper legs were broken. He was pinned into the car, and Gary stayed with him until emergency personnel were actually able to arrive. The trooper was airlifted to a local hospital and did survive his injuries. Since the program's inception back in August of 1997, over 1,300 professional truck drivers have been recognized as highway angels for exemplary kindness, courtesy, and courage displayed on the job. Congratulations, Gary, for that most distinct honor for being a part of the highway angels in the United States. Folks, it's all about, we just do what we got to do, and we've got to do, when you see something, you got to do something, whether you know the person or not. Now, this next story is interesting in that the two gentlemen we're going to introduce you to do know each other. This is Kendall Cummings and Brady Lowry. They were in Cody, Wyoming, and they were hunting for antlers. They were out antler hunting when they got jumped by a grizzly bear. Brady is on the right there. He suffered the most injuries. However, Kendall said, I grabbed and yanked him hard by the ear, jumped up on the grizzly's back. I grabbed and yanked him hard by the ear. I could hear when his teeth would hit my skull, and I could feel, felt when he messed that one up. Point being, somehow the men were able to fight off the bear and called 911. One of the victims was flown out by helicopter. The other was taken by ambulance. Both men were on the wrestling team at Northwest College. They both underwent multiple surgeries from sustained lacerations. They are anticipated to survive. You can see from that picture there, I think they're going to be okay. What a story. Yeah, kids, back when I was your age, I fought off a grizzly bear to save my buddy's life. Again, folks, we love to celebrate the human interest people. We love to celebrate the people that selflessly serve and go above and beyond and do what is called for in the moment to support those around them, whether they know them or not. This next story is about a couple that didn't know what they were getting into. This is David Squilanti and Doran Smith. They were honeymooning in Barcelona and on their way to a tour when they recognized that there was a building with a group of women standing around, smoke, flames, and they had to act. I saw flames coming out of the doorway next to the door that these women had come out of, Smith said. So I said to myself, oh my God, there's a fire. Now, what they didn't realize they were running into was a hospital and a hospital nursery. There were 15 to 20 babies sleeping. Doran said that her instincts immediately took over and just started kind of grabbing people and lining them up and getting them out of the cribs and getting them out of the building. Everyone was saved. No one was injured in the fire. People magazine reports that the couple is now exploring the possibilities of being volunteer fighter fighters in their hometown of Bristol in the UK. Thank you, folks. Wow. Oh my gosh. Doran, David, true heroes. Thank you for being you. Kudos for doing what you do in the world. Folks, I can't imagine a better news story to remember this weekend as we head into the weekend. So I want to thank you for being here on the New Thought Media Network. Thank you for being a part of what we're doing here on this network. I want to say a big shout out and thank you to my producer, Diego Reyes, for making sure all this happens in the background and that we've got good pictures and good slides of all these stories. Remember, if you've got a good news story you'd like to share with us, send it over. NTmedia at goodnews@ntmedia.org. We'll make sure we get it on the air for you. I'm going to get out of here for now, but don't go far, folks. Grab a beverage, grab a bite to eat, come back in a half an hour for the fireside chat with now Reverend Michael Mangus, as he has a great collection of stories and interviews this evening lined up for you. And then tune back in for prayer time at 8:15 Mountain Time here on the New Thought Media Network. We'll also be back in the morning with the Science of Mind and Spirit conversation series. Happens at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'm Rev Robert. I'm out of here for now. I love you. I can't wait to be with you again. And until next time, I wish you peace and richest blessings. Bye now.